I'm Shatoyia Jones, founder and CEO of First Ladies of Party Foundation and host of Generational Wealth Bootcamp at Valley Venture Mentors, who has graciously sponsored this bootcamp. I am going to be teaching you how to build generational wealth blueprints and taking you through the FOP generational wealth structure and how we actually determine generational wealth, what does that look like, and breaking down the activity for you to get started or to continue on your journey to generational wealth. So, I do have my mask just for anyone who's concerned. And it has been agreed upon that it's okay for me to take it off as I teach and instruct from here. If you have any questions on generational wealth, go ahead and leave them in a chat. And welcome. So first things first, let's introduce you to the organizations behind this event. So the first organization is, as I mentioned, the First Ladies of Party Foundation. And let me see here. First Ladies of Party Foundation provides generational wealth blueprints with entrepreneurship and investing certification training programs for BIPOC and minority entrepreneurs, new and seasoned, to win in business and in life. And so our target audience are entrepreneurs and executives, students, investors, mentors, educators, and coaches, as well as influencers. And here's what we essentially help you do with our 4-step wealth building blueprint and 3-month program. So you'll grow a purpose-driven, profitable online business. You'll boost your savings and add an additional income stream. You'll protect and grow your assets, and then you'll pass it on to your loved ones and teach your community. And we teach you how to do that. So the next organization will be Valley Venture Mentors, which is a well-known community organization in Springfield, Massachusetts. So let me go ahead and put this on there. Here we are. Valley Venture Mentors is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to achieving transformational growth for startups and changing the face of the economy in Western Massachusetts. So essentially, Valley Venture Mentors helps you start successful businesses. They help startup businesses be successful through their mentorship and accelerating programs. Here's their impact. Some of their future mentors, some of their upcoming events. And this bootcamp is currently held at the space in Springfield, but also, as you can see, we stream it online. So without further ado, let's go into the Generational Wealth Bootcamp. All right. So first things first, let's talk about the goals of this bootcamp. So 1, we want you to attain financial mobility, which means to grow financially. We want you to attain a higher quality of life, which includes not only your finances, but your mental and emotional well-being, your sense of self, your sense of purpose, as well as how you sustain that business, which is directly correlated to your mental and emotional well-being. So we want you to attain a higher quality of living, not just financial stability or mobility. We also want you to connect with like-minded peers. So one of the things I'm a super huge advocate about is community, because I understand that entrepreneurship can be very isolating. It can be difficult to even want to continue going on your journey when you hit bumps in the road and you have no support. So another goal of this boost camp is to connect you with like-minded people who are in, which we'll get to, one of these 4 categories, like you, one of these 4 groups. And of course, find a supportive and resourceful community. So not just a community where you can find support, but a community where you can also get valuable knowledge and resources for creating your personal generational wealth blueprint and growing in financial mobility. And of course, the ultimate goal while we're all here is to create our own generational wealth blueprint. I've already told you about our hosting sponsors. So let's get into the generational blueprint structure. So the first thing we teach is entrepreneurship, so business itself. If you're not interested in business, I can help you with generational wealth at that point. Business is not just, it's not what you see in Hollywood movies with the CEO having to have these huge board meetings. Sometimes it can be that, and honestly, it could just be something as simple as you trading a service or product for money. That's a business. It doesn't have to have all the fancy additions to it. So we want you to have something sustainable, something that you own, an asset, a business that you own. First, starting with online because that's more sustainable and everything's becoming digitized, so it makes sense to start with the online business first that you can own and of course grow and then have multiple assets coming from that one business model. So that's part of our generational wealth blueprint. So first thing is business and entrepreneurship. The second thing is financial literacy. So once you start that business, once you grow that business to 10K, 20K, 30K a year plus a year, now it's time to manage that money well. That's where financial literacy comes in. How you manage your money, how you save, how you budget, how you plan out and keep track of and account for where your money is going, how much is coming in, what's going now, where is it going to, and is whatever it going to bringing money back in. So that's financial literacy, and that's what you'll be learning after you create a business that starts generating revenue. After you're generating revenue and you're managing that money well, now it's time to invest. So going into, again, where's that money going to, and is it bringing in more money? An investment should be bringing a good investment, a great investment should bring in more money, should bring in money and not be a liability. If it starts out as a liability because you are someone who can see into a bigger picture of things and you know that by investing in this right now it might be costing you money, but in the future it'll be making you 3 times 5 times more, than okay. But essentially you want to invest in something that's going to make you money off your money, and that's essentially what make your money work for you means. So once you make money, whether it's at a job, whether it's with a business, which is what we're talking about, where are you putting that money? Are you putting into fast food? Are you putting into clothes and shoes that you're going to get tired of and probably never wear? Are you investing it in businesses and other assets? And that's what we're going to teach you how to do. Any questions? No questions? Okay. After you invest, then it goes into wealth literacy. So one of the things we advocate for, and we're going to write a book about, is not just stopping at financial literacy, but wealth literacy. So what's the difference? Financial literacy is essentially how you manage your money, save, budget, etc., which can go into wealth literacy. But wealth literacy is how do you sustain that money so much so that the money is making money by itself. I don't know if that makes sense. Does that make sense? Okay, just checking. So essentially, how does that money continue to make money on itself without you having to manage it and be there? Like it's automatically generating you money. And one of the ways we teach that is through, again, online entrepreneurship. Because online, with the internet, you don't have to necessarily be present for a sale to be made or for someone to purchase something or for someone to connect with you, which means a potential client or potential sale. And that's why we're starting again with online entrepreneurship. And what does all of this mean in relation to the structure that we have? So with entrepreneurship, in the business phase, you're building, you're growing. In the financial literacy stage, you are managing and saving. In the investing stage, you're investing. And in the wealth literacy stage, you are reinvesting that money on top of the investment you've already made. And then you start teaching, because I truly believe wealth isn't just money. It's about time. It's about how much time do you have? If you could take, how many years can you take off until you have to work again in order to sustain yourself? Can the money that you have sustain you over an extended period of time? And however period of time, that's how wealthy you are. Because time is your most precious resource. You cannot get that back, whereas money you can always remake. So, teaching and beneficiaries, how do you protect your wealth? In wealth literacy too, again, financial is more just about managing, saving, budgeting, etc. But in wealth literacy, we teach you how to protect your assets so that you can legally pass it down to those you wanted to go to, like your family members, your loved ones, or an organization or charity that you care about if you don't have like a spouse or someone else you want to pass it down to. And of course, teaching your community. In order for it to be generational, we have to teach not only ourselves and our families, but also take ownership for our own communities, which this partnership with Validated Mentors is intended to do, to get back into the communities as well. And if we can do that, then we can also create self-sustaining communities that does not have to rely on the government or any other entity but itself to continue the growth process, the wealth building process within communities, not just families, but communities. Does that make sense? And ultimately, with the FOP, which is what we're trying to do, we're trying to alleviate poverty, reduce poverty. So our structure is leading up to that because, again, we're not stopping with just ourselves and our families, but the communities themselves. Any questions? All right, so that's all good and well, right? But before you can even get to the communities, you got to start with yourself. So do you have any questions about where you want to start, where you need to be, where you need to go in relation to generational wealth currently? Any questions? No questions? Okay. So I'm going to go into, I know someone sent in a couple of, sorry, I'm getting a little distracted. Okay. Some people sent in a couple of tallies as to where they are in life right now. So we have 4 groups of where you are. A lot of people don't know where to start or how to continue. So we've created a structure, a blueprint for getting you back on track. So the first group is I want to, meaning I want to build generational wealth. I want to start that online business. I want to do this, but I don't truly believe I can. If you're in group 1, you're having a mindset shift problem. And before you can even think about building wealth, before you can think about building a 6-figure business, before you can think about doing any of this other stuff, we got to get your mind together. So if you're in group 1, this is where you need to start. You need to start with the activity of, let me go ahead and share this. 1 second. Okay, so where do you start if you're in group 1? You need to start with our Building Wealth 101 course, which is free, and we do offer that. It's an entire course on getting your mindset into a wealth builder's mindset. So getting out of the scarcity mindset to an abundance mindset. You probably heard that before, but essentially when we're talking about wealth, if we're measuring wealth in time, then that is abundance. That's something that's pretty immeasurable. And so you have to get out of that mindset of, I don't truly believe I can do this, even though I would want to. It sounds good, but I don't think I can do it. If you don't think you can do it, you're not going to do it. You're not going to put forth the effort. You're not going to look for the right resources. You're not going to do it because you already believe you have lost before you tried. So this is where you would start. You need to start with our Building Wealth 101 course, which we're going to pull up today. And for group 1, you can get in group 1. And I'm going to give you all of that to look at in your group because y'all need to start here. Not only will you be doing the Building Wealth 101 mindset shift, but you'll be doing a case studies overview. So seeing different case studies of ordinary people who have done it, as well as our overview. So the FOP overview in terms of our case studies and with clients who we've actually helped do it, and their testimonials, including video testimonials. My personal story, so you'll get to read and hear my personal story, and then schedule a one-to-one call to answer any further questions you may have, and then possibly get you on group 2, which is where you can truly start your generational wealth process. Now, if you are in group 2, you are in the believer building stage. So you are a believer in the sense that I can do this. I know I can do this. I just don't know how to do this. So you've already mastered my mindset is there. I know it's possible. I know I can personally do it, even though my circumstances don't look good right now, but I don't know how. So you're in the building stage. It's time for you to start that construction process. Build your foundation, which you already did. Now it's time for you to start building the walls and the pillars and the framework and the installation to your house at this point. So your activity for group 2 will be to choose a business to start. Now, a lot of people will say, well, that's great, but there's so many businesses out there. How do I choose? Well, we've already done that for you. We have 15 main businesses that you can choose from to start online that has a coaching certification program with it and mentorship with it. So you're not alone when you choose the program, just like you go to college and you have your professor office hours and things like that. You're going essentially to business school, online business school, to start one specific online business and then create multiple streams of income from that business, which is what we teach you in group 3 and 4. But if you're in group 2, you need to start baby steps, walk before you run. So we're crawled here, now we're walking, now we're jogging, and then we're running. So if you're in the walking stage, you need to be choosing one online business that you're going to commit to and dedicate to growing, and then add multiple streams of income in 3 and 4. So right now, your focus, choose a business, choose an online business to start. And we have our 15. So if you go to firstladiesofpartyfoundation.org/academy, you can see it, but I can also put it up to you and I'll have it for you in the workbook as well. So choose a business from one of our 15. This is the 15 top businesses to start online in 2021. So whatever business you choose, it would be a great business to start in this time. Now, if you already have a business, so if you're no longer in the building stage, you're more so in the growing stage, the execution stage, then you have an online business and one that we would approve of in this time to start. So you have an online business, but money is not where you want it to be. You have an online business, or so it could be money is not where you want it to be, or you have an online business, money is good, meaning like 60K plus, but you're stuck. So now you're just stuck there. So if you're at the first one of I have an online business, but my money is not where I need to be, here's where you need to go next. Meet with one of our financial planning mentors. We have Danielle Tucker, who is licensed New York agent, as well as a mentor at the FOP, and she can take you through a managing budgeting step. And then you meet with myself to help you with investing into other assets. And if you need assistance with debt consolidation and credit repair, you will meet with Ricky Ko, who is right there. So, yes. Now, if you not where you want to be, online business, money is good. Also, 1 second, let me check my email, make sure no one's trying to get in. Okay. Oh. Okay. Oh. Okay. I don't see any notifications, so hopefully we're not leaving anybody out in the cold. Okay. All right. So, I'm gonna go with this. Okay. So, group number 3, you are a believer. You are executing and growing an online business currently. So, what you need to do is meet with a financial planning mentor. And we have Danielle Tucker, myself, and Ricky Ko. So, Danielle will be for all these financial planning, managing, saving, budgeting, estate planning, all that good stuff. At this point in group 3, you would need a budget, an outline budget. You would need a goal setting and accountability support. Excuse me. Yes, you will need a goal setting and accountability support call to make sure you stick to your goals and build those habits. And then you will need an investing blueprint, which is what I would be working with you with to create a growth formula for your money or where you are right now to actually get to that wealth building part. So that's where you need to be. That's the activity you'll be working on today. So go ahead and get in group 3. and prepare for that activity. And then group for my investors. So you are a believer as well, and you have 2+ income streams, whether it's your online business and an additional income stream or different investments, whatever your income streams are. You have 2+ income streams, but you do not have a generational wealth blueprint. So you're making money. Maybe you've already have a budget. Maybe you have a small savings. Maybe you don't. But you don't have a wealth framework. Like you're not building wealth. You kind of just, you have money coming in, but it's not really, you can guesstimate it. You can't really grow any other assets from it. And you kind of don't know how to do so. So if this is you, if you're group 4, you're a believer, you're an investor, investing is not the traditional like stocks and bonds, real estate. It can be that, but essentially you're just building assets at this point. You're creating multiple income streams. So if this is you, then your next activity, your next step would be to create a customized blueprint of assets. And that would be with me. Accounts managed, schedule a estate planning call, which would be with Danielle Tucker, our resident financial planning mentor. List out beneficiaries. So in that estate planning call, that's where you would like decide if you want to trust or if you just want a will, and who are your beneficiaries and who do you want to get such and such and all that stuff, dividing up your assets and making sure that's legally bound, so that once you pass away, your wealth is passed down to whomever, whatever you want it passed down to. And then start a chapter in your community. So then, as I mentioned before, wealth is not just about you and your loved ones. So I'm genuinely looking to work with people who want to give back to the community and teach their community this information, the things that you've learned on your journey, to help them sustain themselves. And so we have a chapter program where you can start a chapter in your community and get paid to do so. So hello, extra income stream by investing in your community. I think it's super important that I stress that by investing in your community, you will eventually get to generational wealth. There's no way around it, especially if you have a blueprint. Now, if you don't have a strategy or a structure, you may be on that path, but you may not actually get there. But with a blueprint and structure, which is why we're here with the First Ladies of Party Foundation blueprint and structure for wealth building, you will get there. So if you're in group 1, get in group 1. If you're in your group 2, get in group 2, group 3, group 4. What group are you in? Are you 1, 2, 3, or 4? 2.
Yes.
So then your next step would be to choose an online business to start, and then grow that business. So that's your focus. Okay.
Yes.
Any questions about any of this? It was all straightforward.
So far, yes, and yeah, makes sense. So far.
Okay. I think that's it. So yeah, the next step would be the activities. So go ahead and you can start planning, like take 15-30 minutes to, you can also pull up the website. Foundation.org/academy is also going to be in the workbook /academy, and choose from those business listings. I think you've already seen that page too. But the certification listings.
Is it in the magazine too?
Yes. But that was just 21 businesses to start, but we don't necessarily have all the certification programs for that. But our certification program, so the businesses that we do have programs for, is on the Academy page. So if you go to /academy, and remember when we talked about the linked courses and programs?
Yes.
Those programs. So choose from one of those.
Yes, I do know that.
Okay. And anything else? No? Good.
So First Ladies of Poverty.org/academy.
Foundation.org. First Ladies of Poverty Foundation.org.
Oh.
Foundation.org/academy. I can also write it up here.
Foundation.org/academy.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a long type of link.
Oh, whatever.
Well, I mean,
you can also just search First Ladies of Poverty Foundation on Google and it'll come up. Foundation.org/academy.
Yeah, got it.
Alrighty. And do you have any questions about wealth in general, like wealth building or like the process anything, any terms I use, like estate planning, all that? Any questions? All, even though you're right here, like, do you have any questions?
So estate, does that mean like the assets like houses and wills? Is that any combined? Is that what we use the term estate? Is that what that means?
Yeah. So estate is like your assets. And the planning process includes all of that. So the estate planning is like your assets planning, your succession planning. Succession is like what happens after something happens. So usually when you pass away, like what does that process look like? Or once you hit a certain goal or whatnot, what happens after that? So the planning process is called estate planning. And then the will, the assets, all your assets together, the beneficiaries, choosing a trust if you're going to go that route, all that is under the estate planning process.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've never been. Well, obviously I don't have that established, but I also never been through one of those either. So I hear the word will. I heard estate from a few people. But I think most people say the term will.
That's a
Right,
part
so
of the
that's
estate
just a
planning
part.
process.
Okay.
And not everybody has like, real estate and whatnot to pass down, but they have certain valuable materials or assets that they want, like jewels, or maybe like a family brooch, or maybe like a family heirloom that's not necessarily a house, but something that's valuable that you could actually pawn or maybe sell, or that just, accumulates in value over time. Collectible art, all that stuff are assets. So not just like traditionally it would be like houses, stocks and bonds and businesses, but it also goes down to anything that's considered an asset that you can liquidate or that increases in value over time.
Does that include like sentimental stuff? Put it there, or
If it increases in value over time in the market, yeah.
yeah.
But of course, you can also pass down sentimental stuff too. So,
But memorabilia, some memorabilia definitely does increase, right?
Huh?
Memorabilia, sentimentals may not always, right, depend what they are, but memorabilia stuff can definitely increase in price, especially if it's like older stuff that's like not made anymore or high sought after, right?
right.
Okay, so
Yeah, even like cars and whatnot can be passed down. It's not, people don't often think about that when they think about estate planning. It's more like the traditional, like houses and businesses, but it includes anything that you own that's in your possession that you want to pass down.
so that's the umbrella term, estate.
Yeah.
Gotcha. And the word will doesn't normally imply houses, right?